Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Canton Local School District, Stark County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereinafter be enacted during your continuance in said office? If so, the answer is I do.
I do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next order of business will be election of officers. I'll open the floor for nominations for president of Canton Local Board for 2024.
I'd like to nominate Tom Koveski.
Do we have any other nominations? If no, I'll close nominations and we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Koveski?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
All right, next order of business then will be to elect vice president for 2024 for Canton Local Board of Education. I'll open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Annette Davis for vice president.
Any other nominations? If not, I'll close nominations and we'll do roll call. Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Koveski?
Aye.
All right, I'll go ahead and give you your name tags and then Mr. Koveski will take over the rest of the meeting here. You can get a gavel.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, first thing we want to do is establish a date and time for regular meetings. Regular Canton Local Board of Education's meeting, I recommend, will be held at 6 o'clock on the third Monday of each month, except for as noted at the school sites for 2024. Be January 8th, February 20th, March 18th, April 15th, May 20th, June 17th, August 19th, September 16th, October 21st, November 18th, and December 16th. I recommend that we, on the August 19th, it's 6:30 in the morning because of graduation or convocation. It's recommended that do we have a,
What's that?
do we have to vote on that now?
Yes, we do. We're gonna vote on
Okay.
that. We just need that.
Can I have a?
So I make a motion that we accept the dates as printed.
I'll second.
Just to clarify, we are saying 6 p.m.,
6
correct?
p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
6
Correct.
p.m. instead of 7.
Do you want me to change that motion?
I think we're good. We've got,
Okay.
You got it. Yep.
the
Okay.
motion is to approve the dates as
Dates.
presented at 6 p.m. unless otherwise noted.
Correct.
Can you call the roll?
Mr. Koveski?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
And we have the standing resolutions for 2024. Hope everybody's had a chance to look over them.
I'll make a motion, we accept those resolutions.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Koveski?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Okay. Board Service Fund. Consideration, the Ohio Revised Code requires the establishment of a service fund for the expense of members in the performance of their duties. And the data, Ohio Revised Code sets the limits for a service fund. A suggested amount would be $4,500, which is several $1,000s below the maximum. We have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to the board representation.
So that one actually comes over to me, because these are actually superintendent committees. And guys, just to make sure, as we go through and realize, these are just committees that I can call in as advisors, or that our other administrators can call in as advisors to talk over certain things. We limit them to two, per, because anything other than that would put us into sunshine law violation with everything. So if you look underneath of them, that is who was on each of these committees last year. And so this is just something as we go down through. So Career Tech Board, or the board representative, Mr. Kvesky, would you want to continue to serve in that role?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll continue with that. The Loan Foundation Board Representative, which I know you do sit in, and then Mrs. Davis, would you?
Yes, I would like to stay on that, but can Brandy also be? co- on
Absolutely,
that?
we can add Dr. Knoll to that as well and get Dr. Knoll on that as well.
Okay.
We'll get that written down. Then the legislative liaison to the board, Mr. Knight, I know you've done that.
Yeah.
What's your good, okay. Athletic board representative, presently we have Mr. Knight and then Mr. Hamilton as well. If ever, you guys, okay? All right, so student representative of the board, that picks the students that come in here, and actually they apply, they get sent then through by the high school administration to the board. In the past, that was Mr. Cole. I know Mrs. Knoll, we talked about possibly you doing that, and Mr. Hamilton coming on, if we could have the two of you there.
Yep.
We have Dr. Knoll and Mr. Hamilton. Facilities, Mr. Cole was on that, but if I'm correct, we're gonna make a switch with everybody and put Mr. Knight there with Mr. Hamilton on the facilities committee. And then as we move down to curriculum and programming, Mr. Knight, you're gonna step down from that committee. Dr. Knoll will have you go on there, and then, Mrs. Davis continue with that. And then the finance and audit, which again, that one is really just you sit in on the 5-year forecast before everything else. In the past, that has been Mr. Hamilton, Mrs. Davis. Are you two wishing to stay there?
Tom's gonna take that place, take my place.
Oh, you're gonna take your place on
And
it?
I'm
Okay,
gonna jump down to policy.
okay. So if I cross off Mrs. Davis there and say Mr. Kvesky, and then for board policy, that's gonna be Mrs. Davis taking, and then Mr. Knight will stay on that.
Yes.
Okay, can I just read through real quick, just to make sure I have everything as they should be here with everything? Okay, so if I have everything here, Career Tech, Mr. Kvesky, Loan Foundation, Mrs. Davis and Dr. Knoll, Legislative Liaison, Mr. Knight, Athletic Board Representatives, Mr. Knight and Mr. Hamilton, Student Rep to the Board, Dr. Knoll and Mr. Hamilton, Facilities is going to be Mr. Knight and Mr. Hamilton. Curriculum and Programming is now going to be Dr. Knoll and Mrs. Davis. And then Finance and Audit will be Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Kvesky. And then in Board Policy, that'll be Mr. Knight and Mrs. Davis. Everybody feel good? Okay.
We have a motion to accept?
I don't think
We don't have to.
since they're superintendent committees, I don't think we need to act
Yep,
on that.
you don't need to vote on
We're
that.
good.
Other business? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye. Okay, we're jumping right into it, right?
Yep.
Thanks, buddy. We'll get you up here pretty quick at this one, okay? Thanks.
I'd like to call the order of the Canton Local Board of Education meeting for Monday, January 8th at 6 o'clock. Can we stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of
have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, before you,
Questions?
yeah, just before you vote, it is just a misprint at the bottom. It says Monday, February 20th. I just want to be very clear on the blue sheet there that you have, that just to make sure everybody knows the next one there, as before we adopt this, is Tuesday, because that it would be President's Day the day before. The date is correct, just the wrong day.
Okay.
And that's 6 o'clock.
That will now be 6 o'clock, yes. Oh, good catch on that, Dr. Knoll.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion with the corrections.
All right, I'll second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as read for the regular meeting, December 18th, 2023. With the reading. Waive the reading. Have a second?
Second.
Any questions on it? Mr. Schatz, will you call the roll?
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Is there any hearing of the public?
Not that I've been made aware of, so no.
Okay. Moving down to the approval of invoices.
I so moved and pay the bills.
Second? Is there any questions on it? Mr. Schatz will call the roll.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Moving on to the school report.
So we're going to start with our school report, and we're going to go start with our Wildcats of the month. And so first, I'm going to bring up Mason Kirkham. Mason, if you could come on up. And just so you know, our other Wildcat of the month is Poochie Snyder. But Poochie had an interview for a job tonight after basketball practice and didn't think he'd be able to make it. So, and as I told him, I think he's gotten enough publicity anyway, so it's okay. We'll go from there. So, and of course, I grabbed Poochie's just in case. Mason, I've got yours right here, buddy. Okay. So Mason, you get to stand up here. We'll let you face the crowd. We can look at the board here in a second. Can I tell you, one of the things this is one of my favorite parts of the job, is getting to get up here and recognize our outstanding students. But it's so fun for me, the difference between when we have certain students, typically male students of the month, versus sometimes female students of the month, in the amount that they write on these. Not always true, but I will tell you, sometimes I feel like I'm up here for a really long time. Mason, I'm glad, buddy. We're going to get this going great. So don't worry, Poochie's was the exact same way. So, okay? All right, so our January Wildcat of the Month here, Mason Kirkham, his activities, he's been involved as a business professional of America for 2 years. He has been a six-man mentor, which is, just to make sure everybody knows, those are those kids that are juniors and seniors that stand in there for our freshmen when they're coming into the school. And one of the biggest transitions we have are when our kids go from that middle school experience to their high school experience. So having people like Mason to be there, to be a good role model for them, to be a friend, research will show you over and over again, kids will go to other kids before they'll ever come to an adult with a problem. So to have trusted mentors and people like Mason, just greatly appreciate it. So he's been a member of our six-man mentoring for 2 years, student leadership for 1 year. In the fine arts, he's been a member of the Thespian Society, and he's been on the crew for the plays, which, again, we all see what happens out on the front of the stage, but there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make that happen, and so really appreciate that. Community involvement, he has helped with the quarter auction for the past 2 years. He's been a member of the stadium cleanup crew through the six-man mentoring, and he has volunteered to help build the sets for some of the plays. Were you involved with Annie? With this?
Not involved.
No, what was the last one you were involved with?
I think Mamma Mia with Mrs.
Oh, with Mrs. Thatcher, Mamma Mia, awesome. All right. His parents are Lauren and Chad Kirkham, and after graduation, he plans to attend college and major in accounting, which makes the BPA all make a lot more sense here, ready to go. You know where you're looking to go yet?
Not yet.
No? All right. So answer any of the following 3 questions. If you could sit on a park bench with anyone for an hour, who would it be? And he said Neil Armstrong. Can I ask why? I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's all right. I'm just kind of interested to see what his perspective would be because he got to see the from, the moon, obviously. I
Absolutely.
think it would be really cool to talk to someone who's seen that.
Very cool. Excellent. What is the best part about being a teen? And Mason said the best part about being a teen is gaining freedom and not having all the responsibilities of being an adult. Wish I could have reminded myself of that when I was your age. What is the most important part of school? And you said in your opinion, the most important part of school is showing up. And I would agree with you on that, absolutely. So, guys, if we could please join in recognizing our Wildcat of the Month, Mason Curtin. Mason, I have for you a shirt, a card, and they're the same thing, so you can pick either bag, but I'll let you pick which one you want. Yep, thank you. And one of the things we always, I say at this point in time, I think it's true, is a lot of times we like to think we have a great school because I like to take credit myself. We have outstanding teachers, some of them sitting out there, outstanding administrators, but the reality is, outstanding board, I don't want to forget to suck up there as well. But we have great kids, and it just, thank you so much. And you don't always get to hear that, you always get to, so thank you for allowing us to have kids like Mason, and thank you for being a great leader for us here. All right, thank you. Now, listen, you guys are welcome to stay here and watch. There's gonna be a lot of exciting things happen. Or if you wanna get home, you're welcome to do that too. You're not gonna hurt our feelings in any way, but thank you so much for being here, okay? And tell Poochie that I said thank you for you actually showing up, Mason, with everything. Thanks, buddy.
Congratulations.
All right, now for our school report. We're actually gonna have our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Tricia Coates-Everett, come up and talk about what our staff is gonna be doing on Friday with our Professional Development Day.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No.
Okay. Good evening. I thought it would be a good opportunity to let you know what the focus is going to be for staff at our January professional development this coming Friday. We have 2.5 days that the district dedicates to professional development for staff. We had a day in October and a half day in August. We have this Friday, and then because we adopted new curriculum, we additionally had some days prior to the first teacher day in August. So what I'm going to share with you this evening, you actually have a color copy of in front of you. Jason, only 9 color copies were printed for this board meeting tonight. So each color represents a different group of either a content area or a variety of topics. And so we'll start with the first one. This Ashland University seminar came as an idea from the Social Studies department at the high school. And they have attended, some of them have attended seminars from Ashland in the past, and Ashland reached out and was willing to come be on site. What's cool about this is we have some guest teachers from other area districts that will be attending as well, about 10 social studies teachers from other area districts who are going to be able to participate. Curriculum directors always like to work with one another to help provide timely and relevant PD to teachers, so I'm glad we can provide that. This seminar is a close study of the events of the American Revolution and the debates on the ratification of the Constitution, and this topic was selected by the high school social studies department. And the program will be conducted as a discussion utilizing primary source documents as the only readings, and with the discussion leader facilitating the conversation instead of lecturing or presenting. So it's right up the alley of all social studies teachers at the high school. Grades K through 5, you know that the purple section, we have several things happening with math, and these are all to support the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years in our elementary, as well as our newly adopted math resources this year. So when you see where it says K5 AVMR support, that's a math diagnostic tool. We're fortunate enough to partner with Green Local, and they have provided us the option to work with their math coach. And she's provided training not only to, her name's Pam Stein-Kirchner, she's provided training for this math diagnostic to all of Green Local's K through 5 math teachers, and then has allowed our math teachers to come on board and we've attended up there, the teachers have attended up there for some training. So on Friday, they'll be getting follow-up support. Our teachers have given the math diagnostic tool to their students, and then the teachers will bring that data and sit with Pam, and she'll let them know how to interpret that data and what next steps to make for students, really from an intervention and a gap closing perspective. The remaining math sessions, again, all support that illustrative math program that we adopted this year. And all of the training sessions from back in August through this January follow a specific pathway that's recommended by illustrative math. So we're just continuing that training. The blue section focuses on ELA and the supports there. So last year we adopted Amplify CKLA. We're in year 2 this year. On the next 2 lines, you'll see grades 6 through 8 ELA. We adopted Amplify ELA this year. We're in year 1. And we also have that additional class period where the students are all getting an additional period of writing instruction. That is a need that we saw based on years of looking at our state test results. And so the specific program that we use for that is Step Up to Writing. And then in the high school, we also are using Step Up to Writing. So they'll each have their own training session specific to their level. And finally, that last blue row, and then the green, is we have 2 areas that we are reviewing materials. We need some new resources for both high school ELA, high school English, as well as grades 4 through 8 science. So in K through 3 science, we use FOSS, and we're not looking at anything else there right now, simply because our K through 3 teachers are self-contained and they have brand new math and brand new language arts curriculum over the past 2 years. I would like to keep my job and not have the elementary teachers ask you to have me fired by requesting that they adopt new math, new science as well. And so in grades 4 through 8, we identified that as a need because of the grade 5 and the grade 8 state test. What we found in looking at our current materials, which is FOSS science, is that they're not sufficient to prepare students for that state test and teach the standards adequately. So the reason we're starting in grade 4 is so that grade 4 instruction can feed into grade 5 and better support that grade 5 teacher and prepare students for the state test. In the high school, we adopted science materials a few years ago, so I believe we're going into year 4 or year 5 of our current 6-year adoption, so the high school is in really good shape. When you look at those 3 yellow rows, these are options for staff who aren't in a particular grade content area with new resources, and or there's some openings in their day. We try to provide 6.5 hours of professional development, 6 to 6.5 hours contact hours. And so these sessions are additional, and I'm excited about these. So teaching alongside artificial intelligence, in October we had Matt Mays come. He is the tech integration specialist from the county, and so his session in October was very well received. So he has that same group of teachers back, and he's going to take them to a 2.0 version of that session. We are lucky to have Karen Braybeck as our communication director, and she last time she provided a session on Canva, and this time she's going to be providing a session on communicating with busy families. She attended some training this year and was able to get some really good resources. And you know, how do you communicate with families right now? Everyone's so busy, and is it email? Is it text messaging? How long is an email before people stop reading it? How long is a news article before we stop reading it? So she'll be able to provide teachers with some good insight there. Krista Gearhart will be providing training on trauma and resiliency, and this is very near and dear to her heart. She's very well versed in that, and she, a few years ago, offered a course for teachers to take voluntarily and had great response. I won't put her on the spot by how many staff we had sign up for that, but quite a few. And she's going to provide some follow-up training on that. And then that last row that you see here is we do try to provide some team department collaboration. I've started looking at our schedule and limiting the number of topics that staff have access to 3, because the brain can only hold so much new information. So if it's between 1 and 3 sessions of new topics and new learning, and then time to apply that learning with their departments in some collaboration space. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out via email or stop by my office, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Any questions right now?
I plan on being there, though.
We expect to see you. That's awesome, Annette. Great. Anybody is welcome to come to any professional development. So it's an open door. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Tricia.
Anything else, Brett? Okay. Mr. Shazzle, how about the treasurer's report?
Okay, just 2 things tonight. First item is the monthly financial reports, and that's Exhibit TA1 in your packet. First page of the monthly financial report is the cash reconciliation. This is for the calendar year end, December 31st, 2023. Our total deposit accounts at the end of the month were $1,856,848.49. Our total investments were $15,529,734.15, and our total reconciled balance after outstanding items, $17,112,470.66. Page 2 is a listing from our accounting system showing the reconciled cash fund balance there that matches the reconciliation. That's page 2 and 3 actually. And then the 4th page is a listing of all of our operating investments that we have. Those are held at U.S. Bank. Range of maturity from this month actually all the way through November of 28. And the total on that matches the total on the reconciliation, $12,527,656.05 for U.S. Bank. And then we have Star Ohio, which those investments aren't listed separately. It's a pooled investment program for the state. That's $3,002,078.10. And then the last page of that is just a comparison through the end of December 2023 with the end of December, I should say 2022 in that first column there. On the left side, on the right side, it's our estimates through the end of December 23 versus our actual through 2023. On the revenue side, we're slightly up over what our estimates were, about $300,000 in total in the general fund. And then on the expense side, we're also about $300,000 over what our estimates were. But the majority of that, if you'll remember, we authorized a transfer to the Permanent Improvement Fund to cover our share of the CTE grant expansion. So that's the main reason why our estimates were higher than our estimates. So that's Exhibit A, the monthly financial reports. I'd recommend we approve that. Item B is the alternative tax budget, and this will be for the fiscal year that starts July 1, 2024. This is a formal document that gets sent to the county auditor's office and the budget commission. It authorizes our levies. It sets the dollar amounts and shows that we have the need to collect on these levies. That's Exhibit TB1, a long document, and I've gone over that several times and glossed some people over with reading through every one of those. Basically, what it does, it lists all of our levies by rate, the dates that they were collected on that first page there, and it shows an estimate of the collections. So instead of going through this whole document, I also gave everybody a handout. It's got at the top it says Canton Local School District Tax Year 2023. This is what the county auditor considers the green sheet. And just kind of wanted to go over that because I think it gives you a little bit better information. I think it's better information for you guys to have when you look at our tax levies and what we're collecting. So at the top there, it shows our tax year valuation. It has the last 3 years. Our total valuation in 2021 was $458 million, just a little over 458. And then for this most recent 2023 tax year valuation, we're at $482,416,030. The biggest jump there is in public utility, personal property tax that as we've talked in the past, has continued to go up. Our residential taxpayers, their value has only gone from just slightly under 223 million, just to 227 million. So not a huge increase there like some surrounding counties are seeing with the huge increases in property tax values. Next year is the 6-year update, so that could change, and we'll keep an eye on that. But the next 3 sections show each one of our funds that have tax collections. So the general fund there, if you look in that first section that says general fund, I made some arrows and stuff. The voted rate for our general fund levies, including the inside millage, is 48.2. So we have 43 voted, 5.2 inside millage. That's not actually what we collect. So the 48.2 is the voted rate. Our residential agricultural taxpayers are paying 20.9 mils. So it's been reduced to a level, it's well below half of where it was originally voted. Now the public utility taxpayers, AEP and the other public utility taxpayers, they pay the full voted rate. So they're paying 48.2 mils. All of our other taxpayers, residential and agriculture, are paying 20.9. And then our other taxpayers that fall into that other class businesses is 27.25 mils. So the total there, total collections, $15,235,783. That includes the public utility and all of our taxpayers across the district. The second section there is our permanent improvement levy. Again, the voted millage is on the left there, showing voted millage at 1.9 mils. Right now, for tax year 2023, our resident agricultural class is going to be paying 1.27 mils instead of the 1.9 voted rate. And again, for this class, for this fund, the public utilities pay that full 1.9 voted rate. And then the last section on the back page there will be the bond fund. This one's a little bit different. The county auditor sets the rates for this based on what our value is for the tax year. So that it was voted at 8. It's been reduced down to 4.1 to collect the amount needed to pay the debt service. But all of our taxpayers pay that 4.1 mils, unlike those other 2 funds where residential and other businesses get a reduction factor and public utilities do not. Everybody pays that set rate of 4.1. So when we look at that tax budget, that's basically what our tax budget is going over. We put that all into the formal document and submit that to the county auditor, and along with our other funds, just estimates on what we expect to collect and where our balances are. So I'd recommend we approve the tax budget as it's presented here.
Thank you, Mr. Schatzel. Can I get a motion to act on the treasurer's report?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions, concerns? Mr. Schatzel, call the roll.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to communications, Mr. Yeager.
Yep. So the first thing I'd like to do, and guys, there's a little certificate just right there for each and every one of you, but January is Board Appreciation Month. And just want to take a second on behalf of our administration, our staff, our students, community, thank you. You know, it was pretty cool tonight getting to see Dr. Knoll and Mr. Knight swearing back in, and, you know, Dr. Knoll for the first time, Mr. Knight, you know, here for, I think, the 3rd go-around, but this is a very difficult job. And it is a job that there's a lot at stake when you think about what we're entrusted with here in our community. And so I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your willingness to serve in this role, for your willingness to be advisors to Jason and I, to our administrative team, and kind of stand and go to bat for our kids. And so just on behalf of all of us, just want to take a moment to say thank you. That little certificate there it comes from the Ohio School Boards Association. But I don't want you to think in any way that we ever take for granted the job that you do and just your willingness to do it, because you do put yourself out on the forefront of controversial issues. So let's pray that we never go through another pandemic while I'm working in public schools or you're in public, you know, or any of you guys around this. But man, I think you guys all know this is a challenging job, and I just want you to know that you are appreciated. So that's the first thing on that. At this time, I'd like to turn it over, and Aaron and Kyler, appreciate you guys. And I got your email after, because you said it prior to the board meeting, but I didn't see it till afterwards. So we're glad both of you could be here tonight. We really appreciate you, and we're going to turn it over to you, okay?
Thank you.
So a brief recap of December since we weren't here, and a little bit of November. So the November students of the month was Ashton Pearson, Lana Singleton, Jordan Van Meter, and Josie Oler. We had perfect attendance from November 28th to December 15th, 63 students, and they were given the opportunity to participate in a raffle for a $50 Walmart gift card in which Chloe Burt had won. For the Browns tickets, there was also a raffle for that for PBIS, and Landon White and Martasia Hill won that. For the Christmas dinner, Price is Right, which was sponsored by Sixth Man Mentor, it was Emma Puckett. For both choir and band concerts, we had very well attendance. And for exam prep, 18th, 19th, and 20th, we had open campus and multiple days for that. And then for the holiday season for Thanksgiving, thanks to our partnership with Canton South Rotary and the generous donations of the Canton Local School District staff, Honor Society, and Mr. Berger, at Thanksgiving we were able to feed 55 families, including approximately 125 children of all ages. We were able to distribute 55 pounds of butter, 55 dozen eggs, and approximately 660 pounds of turkey, as well as other non-perishables such as canned goods and perishables like milk. We were also able to distribute over 100 pairs of new warm socks when families picked up their meals. For future reference, student leadership is beginning to start their Senior Citizens Prom. It's one of our biggest events of the year, and we're very excited to start. Class officers sent out a survey and different ways to increase school spirits, like in terms of what events and clubs we wanted to see, so we'll be meeting about that to find different ways to implement that. And Student Voice Group is beginning to prepare for their Black History Month. This is also one of our biggest events of the year. Last year, we had a student come and talk about different things we did to you guys, and we're hoping that this year we foster a culture of inclusion and enhance the work of diversity and inclusion. So, Kyler will talk about January.
So to start off January, tomorrow we have our business, graphic design, and programming students going to Kent State Tusk for our Business Professionals of America competitions. Those will be all the in-person competitions with Coach Dennison being the speaker tomorrow. On Wednesday, January 12th, we will have all of the online competitions for all of our students that are part of Enterprise Startup and any of the graphic design online competitions. The end of the 9 weeks will be Thursday, January 11th, and then counselors will start scheduling meetings with students near the end of the month to help get schedules ready for next year and help our graduating seniors be prepared for at the end of the year. The ACT prep opportunity will be February 10th. I know I went to it last year and it was really helpful, really helped us with the ACT, and it was very well populated. So I expect the number to be up again this year. The conference and the college financial aid meeting will be February 15th. Mount Union will be our presenter that day. The Christmas holiday also presented challenges to Canton South families. Supported by our student leadership team and district staff, Bridgepoint was able to assist nearly 100 Canton local families with clothes and gifts. There were families, however, who did not make the Christmas Mart deadline for numerous reasons. Those families were privately adopted by other Canton local families or businesses from Stark County. By working with district family support, approximately 20 students and 8 adults were provided Christmas gifts and food.
You guys have any questions for the kids or anything?
Thank you.
Great job, thanks. Young adults, I guess I shouldn't call you kids as your seniors here, young adults almost ready to go. All right, so as far as my update then on some communication, just want to make sure you guys are aware, we are planning a really big event for April 19th. That is our Founders Day. And there is a, it's part of what we're doing to kick off the 200-year celebration, because 2024 is the 200-year anniversary of Canton local or Canton Township schools. And again, just like to take this opportunity, and I'll tie it in, with Mark out there, but I want to say it also with Keith and with Chris. Just really appreciate the support and collaboration, the townships being involved. We're being involved together in the holiday parade that's going to happen next year. Even with these community concerts that we have started up, just really appreciate being able to do this and have their support, us support them, because at the end of the day, we're all supporting the same people. We do have a meeting on Wednesday to discuss this at 4:30. I'm pretty excited. Ray Hexamer is going to join us, and I think we're going to get Ray to MC the event. And I want to give a shout out, even though she is a Steelers fan, to Karen Breivik for just her work and what she has done to organize this and put a lot of that together. And Karen, really do appreciate you, even though I will continue to tease you on the other stuff here. Some other things, guys, just to keep you up to date. The HVAC facility. As you know, and you see it in your agenda tonight, we did put out a request for qualifications from architectural firms. We received those, we scored those. We're gonna make a recommendation here in a little bit for GPD to be the architect. We have also put out a request for qualifications for construction manager at risk. Those were all due. We received them from 2 different companies here, and we have interviews with the committee scheduled on Thursday of this week, where we're gonna sit down with both construction companies and really go through and try to make a selection. I say this to you, and please be prepared. We may call a special board meeting next week to get that, once we've made a selection, to get that board, or excuse me, get them board approved, because the quicker we can do this, our goal is to stay on track that we are opening this HVAC facility for the 2025-2026 school year, and we want to keep things moving along with that. So I just want to make sure you're aware of what's happening, and we will be working on it. If GPD is approved tonight, they will sit in as part of that interview committee with us to have architectural and design support when we sit there as well. A couple other things really excited about here. We have started a new partnership for College Credit Plus with the University of Akron. They have we want to call it distance, but it really is not an online learning, it's a distance learning platform. And what we're going to be able to do is have our kids sit in a class, and they will actually be in there with the professors from the University of Akron teaching from a distance, or teaching the class on campus. They'll be able to see our kids will be able to raise their hands, they'll be able to ask questions. What it does for us is be able to expand College Credit Plus opportunities here for maybe classes we cannot offer with the current staff that we have, or from, again, stopping our kids from maybe having to drive to a Stark State, or to a Malone, or to a Walsh, or anything like that, keeping those kids here on campus. We're gonna start out small, 1 or 2 classes for early next year just to see how it goes, but we're really excited to be able to offer that. I was able to work with that at my previous school when I was principal, and it provided us with some really good flexibility and some other things that we just couldn't get done with our staff, and I think that's gonna provide us with that here, so we're excited to look to offer that as well. In December, we had the Ohio School Safety Committee come in and meet with us. They spent the entire day, they spent 2 hours sitting in a room interviewing building leadership, our district leadership, going through all sorts of questions for safety. They then went and toured every single building in our district. I mean, walked around every single room. I mean, I'm talking, this was like from 9 in the morning till a little after, between 1 and 2. And we did get our report back from them, and while it is confidential report, like the stuff that's in it, I can allow you as board members to see it, but the biggest thing I can say publicly is, and this is what we're the proudest of, we received, there's 3 different levels you can score, and we scored the best one, which is low risk. That does not mean there's not areas for improvement, because there absolutely are, and we are gonna meet building by building. As board members, if you wanna see that report, you guys have access. I just would need you to come into my office, and I'd sit down and go through it with you. I can meet obviously up to 2 at a time, but it is not a public report, just because it does deal with our safety and security. But again, just very excited, and I think it speaks to the work that our building teams are doing, and our other administrators are doing. Just appreciate them on that. And next thing is just, we're really in the heart of winter sports season. We're having some very good years right now. Teams battling very, very hard. Our freshman team is currently undefeated. I hope that's still the case when we get out of here. I don't know if that's where we are. Boys and girls team, our wrestling team just had a great night on Friday night. And one more exciting thing, Coach Dennison, I think you guys all know, obviously had a great year, but he is now down to the final 10 for the NFL High School Coach of the Year. If he wins that, he gets to go to, well, I think if he gets a little bit further, he definitely gets to go to the Pro Bowl, and then if he wins that, he gets to go to the Super Bowl. They've also said, now I was trying to tie in his, I think it's a contract year for him, so I was trying to tie in whether or not he takes the superintendent as whether or not, but no, I don't think that's fair. But the Browns have been awesome, and even talking about including us and more things, so I think it's gonna lead to some really cool opportunities for our kids, and that's what I'm most excited about with that. And then I mentioned already, but very, very excited about our concerts that we have coming up, our community concerts, using this facility that we have. Just want to take a moment to say thank you. I know Debbie and Jerry Davidson have sponsored both concerts, as Wildcat sponsored. Scott and Edie Hamilton have sponsored both concerts. Stone Products just came in and sponsored the Mitch Rossell concert as platinum, so appreciate that. Nick Justice in the back and H&W Machinery, we really appreciate you guys sponsoring the Mr. Speed concert as well. And So just excited for what we can do for our community and using this facility. So lots of good things going on, and just really appreciate the support of everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Yep. All right, so we have no resignations this month. I will tell you, moving into next month, just to prepare you, this is something that kind of just came out officially today. Due to a health issue, one of our assistant basketball coaches, Mr. Conley, not Luke, his father, is going to be stepping away. So you will see a resignation coming. It's only for health reasons only. That'll be on the February agenda. I just want you to know that's coming. And then we're going to take it, the remainder of his contract, split it amongst our 2 freshman coaches because they're going to have some added duties here to help. That will be in February coming up, though. But I just want to make you aware because we were just made aware of it here, honestly, over the weekend into this morning being official. So just wish our best to Coach Conley there and their family. But as far as employment itself, we'd like to recommend that Brittany Myers be hired as our head varsity volleyball coach for the 2024-2025 school year. Brittany was our varsity assistant this year and stepped in and did a really nice job with our girls, has the support of our families, of our girls, did a great job finishing out the year for us when she stepped in there as our head coach for the remainder of the year, and would like to recommend her to be our head coach moving forward. On the volunteer level, Matt Gazar, Matt's a recent graduate, has been coming back in and helping with our wants to come back in and help with our wrestling program here. He's gone through, got all his paperwork and done everything, but we would like to approve him as a volunteer to be able to do that. Michelle Hinkle as a substitute bus driver and a substitute cafeteria worker. And then Sharon Williams is a long-term sub, currently being paid $175 a day. She has spent the last 6 weeks in a math classroom for a teacher that is out on leave. That teacher has continued, the guy had needed to be out a little bit longer. And we just think the amount of work that Sharon is doing, it is only right to compensate her a little bit more because she is working very, very hard. So for that time frame that's on there, through February 16th, we'd like to increase that to $200 just for the amount of work that she is doing as a way to show her that. So I recommend we approve those. Item B, the school calendar. Again, you guys should have another copy, but this really has not changed since before. The only thing may be some dates or things down the middle, but the school days that we are going, the days that we are there, as far as our professional development days, those waiver days, when we start, stop, I'd like to recommend, and it's exactly the same as what I presented at our open meeting in December prior to the board meeting as well. So I'd like to recommend that we approve the school calendar. Gifts and donations, Thomas Hayes, $25 to the Babbitt Scholarship. Kathleen and Stephen DiLoretto, $100 to the Babbitt Scholarship. Marcia Johnson, $500 to the Babbitt Scholarship. Susan Henry, $50 to the Babbitt Scholarship. The Wildcat Golf Foundation, if you see that $7,500 golf simulator, part of that work that we are doing over at the Y property over there, we had a great opportunity to show Mr. Knight today, and would be welcome to show any other board member that'd like to go over, just the work that's going on. The Golf Foundation is donating so we can buy one of these simulators to allow our golf team to be able to practice really during these months when they can't be out on the golf course. We're going to match that as a school to make sure that we have enough for boys, girls, everybody. We have it going in there to go and have a very nice facility for them. And so we're grateful for that donation. Nancy Miller to the National Technical Honor Society. Staggs Mechanical, $100 to the construction trades. Pike Township trustees and employees, $365 to the Babbitt Scholarship. Dale and Elizabeth Jones, $150 to the Babbitt Scholarship. Rick Tony, $100 to the Lunch Angel Fund. That's one for me. That's someone I always remember. I actually played against Mr. Tony, and I remember him kind of being the face of Canton Local because he was the guy that would always greet us when we got off the bus as an opposing team when I came here to coach. Love Mr. Tony, and so appreciate him doing that. Norm Eckinger, $250 to the Lunch Angel. Dan and Angela Nelson, $100 to the Lunch Angel. And then Legacy Residential Services, $248.56 to girls basketball team meal donation. Obviously, with gratitude, I recommend we accept those. Sunday participation. Nick Stepanovich has submitted a request for the Performing Arts to add a Sunday performance of Grease. So we are going to be doing Grease on March 10th, and that will be at 2 o'clock, and that will complement our, it will be middle school and high school performances that will also be on March 8th and 9th as well. And I'd like to recommend that we accept them. Item E, the revision to the athletic handbook. Guys, this was already in there, but just in some conversations with Mr. Dennison and our building principals, we wanted to add in, there is a video on sportsmanship that we wanted to really make the adjustment that any fan who has been ejected from any of our extracurricular activities, particularly an Ohio High School Athletic Association event, before they return to games. Obviously, the suspensions are laid out in there as well, but then they would also have to watch those videos and give a form of completion back to Mr. Dennison. We always want to make sure we're representing ourselves well and representing our community with class. We have great kids, we have great coaches, we have a great community, and we want to make sure we represent that. We're going to try to do a better job of promoting this as well, but we just ask that you would waive. This is not official policy. This is athletic handbook, but still I'm going to ask that we waive the first reading, approve it tonight so that it can be in effect for the rest of the year here with everything. So I appreciate if you'd be willing to do that. And then the last is what I just talked about in my update, that resolution on selecting GPD group as the design professional and architectural group to help us move forward with the HVAC. They were scored based off a rubric and selected to be the firm to go with. And so I recommend that we approve items A through F.
Thank you.
I so move on items A through F.
I'll second.
Any questions, concerns?
Yes, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So on the positive parenting, that is what I clicked on and I could not make it work. So can you check with Matt and then let me
Absolutely.
know? Because
Yep.
I would like to go through that.
I sure will, and I'll make sure, and it may be just like what you and I talked before the meeting,
Yes.
maybe there is something where we have to send you like a link or something like that to make sure, because
Right.
that is exactly it. In the athletic department, I do know before they sent it to me, because there were 2 different videos that they could choose from.
Right.
They went through, watched them, and selected the one they thought fit the best. So I know it's that, but I'll double check and make sure we get
I
it.
appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other questions? Mr. Schatzel, call the roll.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Krivesky?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Informational items. 2023 credit card procedural card rewards.
Yeah, through our commercial, I have to report on that each year, our credit card rewards. We do have a commercial card. We used to have American Express. We no longer have the American Express rewards program. We do everything through our Huntington procurement card, and we just earn cashback rebates for that. They get deposited into our general fund as interest earnings, and those totaled $1,837 for calendar year 2023. One of the audit requirements to report that to the board.
Thank you. Board concerns legislative?
Yeah, we had been, last meeting we were watching House Bill 68. It was passed by the House that deals with transgender, both transgender medical care and also transgender participation in athletics. Bill was passed. It was vetoed by the governor, and the legislature is threatening to override the veto. So this is something that's going to be watched by the entire country to see where we go with this. And the governor said he vetoed it because it didn't go far enough. There were certain things that he didn't like in it. So he has done some executive orders dealing with transgender care for 18 years and under, and kind of limiting that care. And so he says he's going to come out with some more executive orders dealing with the other aspects of the bill, and yet it's still in possibility of being vetoed by the legislature. So it's something that we want to watch and see how it, because it will affect us and our students. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Is there any other business? Okay, any questions pertaining to the agenda items or board actions? Greg, Brett, or Jason?
No, he's at that audience as well.
How about executive sessions? Any reason? How about adjournment?
I'll make motion to adjourn.
Mr. Schatz will call the roll.
Mr. Krivesky?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Davis?